Hi everyone, it's your girl Keisha Hutch, and today I'm going to be giving you a tutorial on how to do your makeup for when you're going to go exercise. So this tutorial is for anyone who wants to wear makeup when they're exercising. As you know, my hashtag is Keisha Hutch. You can find me at Keisha Hutch on Instagram. Website is KeishaHutch.com. I'm also the owner of the meetup group Atlanta Skincare. And I'm here today live at The Boss's Shop, THBOSSHOP.com, as well as at THBOSSHOP on Instagram, recording this tutorial for you today. This tutorial is just an idea of how you can achieve this look yourself, which is you going to the gym with makeup on without having the running situation happening. And the follow-up to this tutorial is going to be virtual classes in alignment with the boss's shop. So this where we're here in Austell live today at the salon. So with that being said, let's get started. I've already prepped my skin, I already washed my face, and I followed it up with a toner. Then I applied a neutralizing, just a regular moisturizer for my skin. And the fourth step I did was to apply a SPF on my skin, and then I went back in and put like an under eye cream on top of it just to make sure that underneath my eyes has enough moisture for when I put the concealer on. With that being said, let's get started right into the video. So the first thing I'm going to be using today is going to be, it's not a primer, but it kind of works just like a primer. And it's something that Mary Kate carries called an oil mattifier. So hopefully that label's coming through. And I really didn't discover this product till a few months ago. This is how it comes out on the skin. So it looks liquidy, like it's going to stay in this way, but it does not stay in a liquid way. And I poured out enough to make sure that I'm getting on my neck as well as I'm going to get the rest of my face. Make sure I get my forehead. It's a lot to cover. I have to go back over my eye area particularly because that's the area of most concern when it comes to sweating, is you don't want your eyeshadow to look creased. So I don't know if you can tell already. I can tell that it's already cut down a good amount of shine that was on my face from using the SPF. So that's the first product, was the oil mattifier. Second thing I'm going to be using is a primer. And the primer you use does not matter. I have the Mary Kay primer, which is silicone based, or I have the MAC primer. I'm not sure what this is. This is also a cream formula. And I do like this one too, as that's basically another one of my favorite primers, because when you apply it together with the oil mattifier, it really helps seal it into the skin. Oh. Gotta rub it in quickly though. Or else it's gonna leave all this white crap on your face. Okay. Make sure I get a little bit more on the top part, since I got most of the other application on the bottom part of my face. So I'm just putting a little bit more on here so I can get it covered really good on my forehead and always on the lids, because that's where the skin is the most oiliest. All right, so basically I have 2 layers of sweat prevention product on right now already. Now I'm gonna take my concealer sponge. You can tell I use it all the time here, and I'm gonna get started with just trying to conceal underneath my eyes really quickly. I'm gonna do underneath my eyes, I'm gonna do right below the brow and right above the brow, just so I can highlight it, so when I fill in my brows it's gonna look nice and clean. Just pouring a little bit of this out, and this is, I think this is full coverage foundation, but I'm using it as a concealer because I don't like to use, for when it comes to the gym, I don't like to use a full face of liquid foundation. I just prefer to use it a little bit here, a little bit there as a concealer. And the goal really is to avoid using as many liquidy products as possible when you're going to go work out, but still want to be cute. Okay. Yeah, I don't know if you can tell the difference already just between my left and my right side, how it automatically just kind of perked me up there. So this is not a traditional concealer. The reason why I don't like to use a traditional concealer for this part, like the NYX, which I'm going to use to contour my face, is because it's more oily, and we're trying to stay away from oily products underneath the eyes, especially since we're going to be sweating. Okay. Got this blended in pretty good. I probably might just give it just a little bit, a few more touches here. So a few more touches for underneath my eye. Just a little dab. I'm using very little product because we're not trying to use too much. We're just trying to do some good coverage without using too much product. Okay, underneath the eyes is looking good. Now let's go underneath the brow. Just a little bit more product, not a lot. Just gonna dab it in right underneath the brow bone. And I'm sure you're probably wondering why I'm not carrying it all the way down, because again, my eyelids are very oily and I'm trying to avoid them creasing when I sweat. So we're only doing it right underneath the brow bone and above the brow bone. We're gonna fill in those brows in a little bit. Okay, that side's done. Let's get the other brow. Got a little heavy-handed with that one, but it's okay because I'm gonna just go ahead and use the excess for the top part of the brow anyway. And whatever's left over, I'm just gonna kind of pat it in the middle. My T-zone here, just a little bit. Blend it in. Okay, that looks pretty well blended. You do want to blend as much as possible because you don't want anyone to be able to actually see that you highlighted this area. You can draw a little attention to it later on with some highlight and your eyeshadow, but for this part, you really want to blend it in as much as possible. Okay, so we got those done. Got that done here. Just made a little mess, oops. Okay, so now that I got brow bone, top and bottom, plus underneath my eye concealed, what I'm gonna do is just conceal other spots on my face. I'm really just trying to focus on the dark areas. I mean, technically speaking, I'm gonna have a mask on anyway, but just still going through the motions of how I would do makeup in general. There's not a lot of product, just a little bit of dabs for whatever areas you're trying to conceal. I also like to go around my mouth, just so when I apply my lipstick and lip gloss, everything looks really crisp. Okay. So that's pretty much blended in. I'm just gonna do like a little bit here and just get a couple spots on my neck, and that's gonna be that for concealing. You see it's starting to come together, which is really good. Starting to look like how we want it to look. Let's put a little bit more for my perimeter on my left side of my face. Just a little touch up on this neck. Just using whatever's left on the sponge to go around here just a little bit. Okay, everything looks pretty smooth and well blended. Now I'm going to get to prepping my eyes some more, and I'm going to be using the Morphe eyelid primer just because I really like this product. I like how it dries down, and the color I'm using is translucent. It does come in, I think, 2 other shades. I don't remember what the other shades are because I just like to use the translucent base. Just apply it with my fingers because it dries down kind of like the MAC primer does. So, I mean, even without applying any eyeshadow to it, you could really just walk out the house just like this if you're someone that's like an everyday makeup type person, that you're really not a makeup person, but you want to not look oily. This is just something you could do just to get out the house. You can use the Morphe eyelid primer because it kind of looks like a light shade of eyeshadow. You can just wear it like this and fill in your brows and put some blush on and lip gloss, and you're out the door if you're not really a makeup person. So what I've done is I just dispersed the product across my lids. So now my lids look more matte and they won't be oily. Maybe I just, just for posterity, I'm gonna go ahead and add it just a little bit more because I don't believe in I don't believe in such a thing as being too prepared. Okay. So we're fully concealed. Now what I can start to do is, I'm a heavy-handed person, so what I like to do is kind of like lay out my blush first before I finish up later on with my bronzer. So today I'm using a little bit of Glossier Cloud Paint in the Beam color, which basically looks like a peachy. But I'm going to follow it up with a powder blush anyway. I'm just kind of laying it down on my cheeks just a little bit. because I am going to come back with a powder blush after. I just don't want it to be too heavy. I just want to look a little rosy. Okay. I already had on the chapstick on my lips previously. So what I'm doing now is I'm going to put on the lip primer, which is the Mary Kay Time Wise lip primer. Before in another video, I did recommend another primer, which was Amazing Cosmetics. But I discovered that that one is kind of my second choice, only because that one doesn't work as well with different lipstick. It works great with the lipstick I'm going to use today, which is going to be the liquid lipstick from Too Faced. It's called Melted Matte, which I've discovered so far is the best one for when you're wearing a mask, so it doesn't smudge as much. But my best lip primer is still the Mary Kay lip primer, because this one works equally well with liquid lipsticks, liquid matte lipstick, as well as regular matte lipstick that's in a tube. Whereas the Amazing Cosmetics one, it works with the liquid matte lipstick, but it didn't do a great job with regular matte lipstick for me. It kind of changed the consistency on my lips. And for those of you who are wondering, why would you ever need a lip primer? The reason why you would need a lip primer is, say you or your client has different tone lips. Like your top lip is darker than your bottom lip. Like your top lip is a darker brown and your bottom lip is pink. And you're wondering, when you wear lipsticks, you know, you want more of an even look to the lipstick. The trick is you would basically just do what I'm doing now, which is apply the primer ahead of time before you put your lipstick on, because it's creating like this opaque barrier on your lips, so your lipstick really shines through the best it's going to, no matter what tone your lips are, whether they be blotchy, uneven. You don't need to have perfect lips to make the lipstick appear the way it's supposed to appear on the swatch. And that's the importance of using a lip primer. And I like to press my lips together, really get them in there. And I always like to go extra on the corners, because I have an issue with my product always kind of ending up there. So that's just the way my lips are. So get them really pressed in there, let it really soak in. And I'm going to come back to the lips later on after I know that this product has soaked in for at least 2 minutes. It's going to be more than 2 minutes by the time we're done anyway. So now it's time for the fun part, which is going to be I'll do the eyes first. Let me start on the eyes first, because the eyes are really going to be the easiest part of today. And today I'm going to be using a little travel palette. I don't know if NYX still makes these. I think they still have the Ultimate series, but this one, I don't know, this palette is probably at least 2 years old. It's the NYX Ultimate, and I like to do a neutral look, but I am using my orange as a neutral. So I'm probably gonna use this color right here, and I'm gonna also combine it with one of my favorite products. Tarte has these little containers. They're called clay pots, and this one is Lucky Penny. They're supposed to be a liner for your eyes, but I don't use them as a liner. I use them as eyeshadow, because this to me is the equivalent of what MAC used to have. MAC used to have this amazing product called Paint that used to come in a tube, and the tube would last you forever. You literally only need a little bit of a tube. And when I tell you, you could literally wear your makeup for 24 hours and your eyeshadow would not move, would not go anywhere, that product was amazing. I was so sad to learn that they had changed the formula. And that's how long I had the product. But that by the time I went back to MAC, they didn't even carry it anymore. That's how good that product was. So I'm going to get started with putting down the Lucky Penny. I think I'm going to put that shadow down, and then I'm going to probably come over the shadow with the Lucky Penny. You see, it's not really like a heavy color or anything. It's just more on the neutral side, even though it's an orange. I'm actually using the one on the far right of the palette. And I'm just going to do the same thing to the other eye, which is just get this eyeshadow down. I'm going to switch brushes because this is actually a crease brush. And then I'm trying to get more of a cut crease look right now. I'm sure everyone knows what the cut crease look is, but if you don't know, it's basically like you're just following the shape of your eye, the semicircle shape. The difference is I'm not exaggerating that shape with a white base underneath it. I'm just going for more of a natural look. Okay, I'm gonna try one more. I'm gonna try this bigger brush I just got from Morphe. It's got more coverage. So I'm trying to get more product down quickly. Which when you're working with makeup, that's a good thing to know how to do, how to blend quickly, get your product down as quickly as possible, especially if you have multiple clients that you're working with at the same time. There we go. That just did it. I really just got in there the way I'm looking for quickly. Okay, now let me get the other eye. And I do like to come up to here because my eyes are hooded. So when they close naturally, you can see you're not getting all the visibility of the eyeshadow. So I do like to go over where the hoods fold. Just trying to pack them on really good, pack on the shadow. Looks pretty well packed on here. Now I just need trying to debate what color I'm going to use for my crease here. What color am I going to use for my crease? Let me just go ahead in the meantime though and blend this out with this is a Morphe brush M452, but it's just a blending fluff brush. You don't have to get this brush or anything, but any blending brush will do where it's rounded. You can just start fluffing it out so it doesn't look like you have harsh lines in your eyeshadow. Definitely want it to look smooth. You can see that this one definitely looks smoother compared to the one I just put down. So, Okay, that looks pretty well blended. Now I'm gonna go to the other eye. So I'm gonna come back again with probably a gold transition color, or actually I could go ahead and use the highlight that I'm gonna use on top of this, and the highlight color is going to be a rose gold. So, start blending just so it looks nice and smooth, not hard. It's definitely softer, but it could go even softer. So just gotta keep blending until it looks as soft as you want it to look, so it doesn't look so harsh. For some reason, it's like this eye, I don't know why my left eye, when I'm doing it, it's always, one side is always a little heavier than the other side. It's the same for me with the blush. I feel like this side, this blush is always heavier on this side than on this side as well when I apply blush. Okay, I'm gonna get it's a gold eyeshadow that I'm gonna use to transition this color now on the top part. But before that, let me look for, I need the brush that I'm gonna apply. It's a pot with the Tarte pot, so I'm just gonna use, this is what the Lucky Penny looks like with the top off. Just gonna get some of this in here. Apply some just kind of to the base part of the lid. And I don't know if you can notice, but it is actually a little bit of shine kicking back from the product now. So now I'm going to do the same thing to this other eyelid. Just get some more of this Lucky Penny on the back of this brush. Now I have a orange metallic look that's happening. Okay. Let's get a little bit more here just so it's a little bit more metallic. Okay, that looks pretty good. I'm going to blend out this left-hand side a little bit more again. Also on the bottom, I'm gonna use this e.l.f. No Budge Stick. No Budge Shadow Stick, and it's in the color Bronze Metal. I'm just using it for the bottom of my eye, just to have a little smoky. Okay, that's pretty. So I'm metallic on the bottom and the top. Just two different metal looks. The same thing to the other eye. Go over it one more time again. It's because I am trying to create more of a smudged look. My eyes always water, guys. It's all good. Okay, I'm done with that product. Now I'm gonna go quickly get from my wheelie case all the rest of my makeup supplies. I'm just gonna grab a gold eyeshadow that's gonna be a transition color for the top. Okay, got my color, and it's a standalone eyeshadow, and I love this one. Got this at Target. The color is called Ginger Snap 3515. And I've been using this for a while. This is a product by, it's hard to see the logo, BR Black Radiance. But I like this one because it doubles. It says it's a baked bronzer. It could be a baked bronzer, but I like to use it for eyeshadow, and I also like to use it as a highlighter on darker skin tones. So now I got Black Radiance color and just debating. I'm gonna go back to this other smaller brush, put some on here as a transition gold color. Okay, get this on. Just gonna try to take it up a little bit higher. As close to my brow bone as possible. Okay. I'm gonna do the same thing for this other eye now. And then for the top space, I'm gonna save I'm thinking about doing, there's a yellow color right here at the bottom left. That's underneath the brow bone. Okay. All right. Let's try to get this yellow on. Hopefully it does what I want it to do because it has like little glitter to it that's happening. So I'm just gonna kind of put it down a little bit, but I'm absolutely gonna come back and blend this. Let me go ahead and brush up this brow too. Okay, let's get it down on this other eye. Okay, now I gotta go back to my blendy brush and start blending. Because we don't want any hard transitions. Oh, sorry guys, hold on. My nose started running there. Okay. Just gotta keep blending this out. Just remember that we are going to come back with one final transition for the whole entire lid, and that's going to be the rose gold. Okay, let's go start to blend this eye. Brush up. Let me brush up this brow as well. I'm just going to dust off whatever excess is on the brush. Just getting off the excess off the blending brush. I'm just going to blend a little bit more. Okay. The yellow is pretty much blended in. I'm going to reach for what I'm going to use is my highlighter. This is Maybelline Master Chrome. And this one is rose gold, but oh, the number is 150 Molten Peach. To me, it looks like a rose gold. I've had it for a little while now. So as you can see, I'm going to pop this right onto my blendy brush because I'm going to blend the whole entire thing together. All the way from the top and the bottom. It's just a light shade that's gonna bring both the yellow and the orangey colors together, and it matches anybody's skin tone, a rose gold. So you can see how this one looks compared to this one. It's a much better finished look. It looks more blended together, and there's no harsh transitions in between the colors. Just gonna give it a couple more swabs of this rose gold, and I'm gonna move on to this eye. Okay, that looks really, really good. That looks like how I want it to look. And we're still gonna pop a highlight into the corners with this Thrive Cosmetics product. So that's gonna be our last step for the eye. I'm gonna go around the eye probably about 2 more times for blending. And when I say 2 more times, I mean me dipping it in this rose gold again and blending again. And I'm pulling it in both directions, really, top to bottom and bottom to top, just to make sure the rose gold is getting an even application. I'm gonna go in here one more time just to get to look more like this one. Stop and evaluate to see how they look. I think it just needs a little bit more on this eye. Needs a little bit more on this one. Okay. Now these eyes both look pretty well blended. Now what I'm gonna do, this is the trick, guys. We already, remember we basically did the equivalent of priming twice. Even though it wasn't two primers, it was the oil mattifier followed up by the primer of your choice. Today I used the MAC Prep and Prime. Typically I follow the oil mattifier with the Mary Kay primer because it's silicone based and just takes away a lot of the shine off your skin. But both of them, either primer will hit the goal. Today I'm using, for my setting, I pretty much like to use the Morphe setting spray. This one is a mini continuous setting mist. And I think this holiday one smells a little different than the regular continuous setting mist. The one I like the most is the white bottle one, though, that says it is mattifying. Because when you're always trying to cut down on shine, that's awesome. But I'm just going to spray my face all over with this Morphe mini continuous settings mist. This stuff is strong. But it's good to use it and let it just kind of seep into the skin, you know, let it do its thing, because it's really going to help protect your eyeshadow, and it's going to be another layer. Notice I put this on before I started doing my contour, and I'm still going to come back with this continuous setting mist again when I'm done too. I just want to let it kind of dry into my skin a little bit. Last thing I'm probably going to do is going to be my eyebrows. So yeah. All right, that's good enough. Now I'm just going to start contouring with a darker shade, and the color that I'm using is the NYX Can't Stop, NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop Contour Concealer, and it's in the shade Warm Caramel, which is about, I don't know, maybe 3 shades darker than I am, 2 to 3 shades darker than I am. And I'm just dotting it around the perimeter of my face to create definition. And you don't even need a lot. Notice I didn't even double dip again with the product. This was all off of me sticking the applicator in here one time. You don't need a lot of product to create the look that you're going for. And that product again that I'm using, the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop Contour Concealer in Warm Caramel. And it's about, I would say, maybe 3 shades darker than I am. I wouldn't want to go any darker than this for contouring. Now I'm not going to use the foundation I was using before to blend this in. This time I'm going to use the Mary Kay, my trusty Mary Kay CC cream in the medium to deep. I could have used the light to medium, but I actually like this color because it's closest to my skin complexion. So what I'm going to do now is take some pumps out of the bottle, get it on here, and just kind of dab it in between, and I'm going to add more as needed. I'm going to dab it in, but I'm basically trying to get this product down in between all the places that I put the contour. And then I'm going to start blending everything out. Let's go heavy-handed right here. It's okay though, because I'm going to need more product to blend anyway. Okay, so now I'm going to start blending now that I have everything on. I'm going to start blending this out. I like to start from the bottom upward, but you could do it either way. Whichever direction you want to go in, it doesn't matter. The whole point is to blend your products as good as possible. And I do like to take the products all the way up to my edges, to the perimeter of my hairline. I actually brought this over a little higher than I meant to, but it's okay because I'm going to come back in with some more of the CC cream and blend this really well. And just keep blending. I'll probably be blending for another at least 2 minutes. Just keep putting a little bit more concealer on and blending out some more, because I'm not trying to have a heavy, obvious line on my face that I concealed right there. Not concealed, that I contoured right there. That's the proper term. Another reason why I like to use this CC cream is because it has a yellow tone to it, and my undertones are pink and yellow. It's always best to use the products that match your natural undertones. Not sure how I did that today. So the forehead is starting to really come together, but you can see that the sides and this area, the sides and my jawline are still too heavy. So I'm just going to keep going, keep adding some more CC cream to the perimeter of my face. Just in case you're interested, by the way, this is a beauty blender from Sephora. I don't know if it has a particular brand name, but it's probably one of the softest beauty blenders I've ever used, and it's just so easy to use. To me, it gets better results. I used to use makeup brushes for these type of things, but I feel like the blender definitely almost, it's so smooth that it looks close to like an airbrush finish. And that's the type of results that you want when you're doing your makeup. You want it to look like people know that you have something on your face, but they can't particularly pinpoint, say, oh wow, she's wearing so much makeup, because it looks so natural. gonna do a little bit more around here. Okay, just gonna catch up right here. So my other area that needs a little bit more work. The side still looks a little darker to me. So I'm gonna put another layer of CC cream on it. And just whatever's extra is just getting it more so down on my forehead. Okay. All right, now you can see as the contour is pretty well blended. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put on the powder blush. My powder blush, I also picked this up at Target. It's one of my favorite. It is Milani and the color is called Coral Dove 05, and it's definitely a peach shade. And peach is my other undertone. I know I said pink earlier, but when I'm referring to pink, I mean peach. This brush, I just got it's just a really big all over powder brush. You can pick one of these up anywhere, but this particular brush is from a Mary Kay brush set that I purchased like about a year ago. So right now it looks pretty heavy and dramatic, but remember that I'm going to come over my entire face with bronzer shortly. I'm just trying to go in a circular motion and gently pat it in here. And I love, the bigger the brush to me, the better the blush application looks. I used to use smaller brushes for the blush, but I never liked how it looks so like a literal circle on my face. I just never liked that. So this is me. I didn't notice I didn't go back again to put it in here because the blush is such a vivid color already. There's really no need to go back and put it in a secondary time. I keep having to pause because my nose keeps running. Oh, thank you for bearing with me. So for the bronzer, which is also going to be a really big deal for me, not for me, for you guys, for this look that we're trying to accomplish, which is the least amount of sweating. Well, you're going to sweat at the gym. The goal is when you sweat, that your makeup won't be moving all over the place. So I'm using the Real Techniques powder brush, and it's big and fluffy too. And just to compare it to the other brush I just used, they're both, this one is bigger and has a wider base, and this one has a skinny base, but about maybe the width on the top is about the same. But yeah, love the big brushes for the all over bronzer coverage as well as the blush. So what I'm going to do before I put down this bronzer, we're going to come back again with the Morphe Continuous Setting Spray. So there, we're going to get that locked in. And while that's drying, what I'm looking for is my bronzer, which is the really big deal for pulling this entire look together. It's going to be because of the bronzer. Okay, and this is also a Tarte product. It says Tarte C. I don't know why it's called C, but it's cute blue little palette. I already broke it. That's why I keep it in the box. I always break these little palettes. And the color is called Breezy. It comes in 2 shades, I think. But I believe the Breezy was the darker of the 2 shades. And that's why I use it, because I wouldn't necessarily say that this product is geared towards women of color, but it is more so for someone who naturally can tan. So, got my big fluffy brush. You can see I use this on a regular basis. I've already gotten to the bottom. Just go ahead, circle it around really well so that it's covering all the bristles. I can start putting it down on my face. Just gonna put it down nice and smooth. And for anyone that's wondering why didn't I bake underneath my eyes, because number one, I didn't put a lot of product on. Number two, when you put powder on for baking, it's gonna emphasize all of your creases, and I'm not trying to emphasize any creases. This is a smooth finish, and that's the equivalent of putting the makeup on and baking at the same time. So I'm just going to smoothly stroke it across underneath my eye, just like that. And I'm going to do the same thing just for the rest of this area. I really don't need to go back into the product right now, because I've already put enough on here to cover this. You can see it already, like the difference between this side of my face versus this side, where the blush is still heavily visible. But because I just did this, I just took the blush down, I just baked underneath my eyes, and made my skin look smoother all in one. Now I'm doing the same thing for this one little section of my face. And I like to close my mouth so I can really get in the mouth area really well. Now you can see the difference. Now my lips look different because you can see the darker color of the bronzer on it. I'm giving it some more swirls because now I'm going to do my neck. And I always like to start from the bottom up, swirling it up, and just making sure everything looks good and everything looks even. You can see such a big difference already between this side of my neck and this side of my neck. It's amazing. I love this stuff. The Tarte Breezy Cream Bronzer was supposed to, I think it says it's a cream bronzer. I don't know why I can't talk today. Tarte Cosmetics Cream Bronzer. It's cream, but it's very much so like my favorite foundation that I use with Mary Kay, which is the cream to powder foundation. That's why I like this product so much, because it's like a cream to powder foundation, which is my favorite to use when I'm finishing clients' especially if you have someone that's getting married, bridal. It's if you want them to have a nice matte finish look and you don't want them to look shiny on their wedding day, you always want to get a cream to powder foundation. So now I'm going to do the same thing for underneath this side. Swipe. Just kind of bring the brush outwards. You swipe them. I'm just coming back over here again just to touch it up so everything looks even. Now you can actually see what I meant by when you use the lip primer, what it's doing for your lips, because you can actually see a opaque film looking look on top of my lips, and you can actually see how it's going to make the lipstick appear more to its true natural shade versus the color of my lips interfering with that color of the lipstick. Just going underneath here one more time. Just smoothing everything out one more time again, which is not going to be a problem because I already put the primer and the oil mattifier down on my skin ahead of time. Yeah, you feel free. Okay. And I'm really not trying to necessarily fill this in because I do want the brows area to still look crisp. So I'm just gonna, I haven't added any more product. I'm just slowly blending a little bit more onto the skin. You can tell how nice and smooth it looks. Like my wrinkles really aren't even visible. Everything looks just a nice smooth texture, and that's why, like I said, I gotta love anything that's cream to powder. Anything that's a cream to powder finish is definitely what I want to use on my own makeup and definitely what I love to use on clients. Okay. So that's pretty good finish. You can see it in my edges. Gonna put this away now. Now I'm gonna pencil in my brows, touch up my blush, clean up, get some of this makeup out of my edges a little bit. Do a couple baby hairs just for you guys, because I normally do not do baby hair situations, but I feel like you guys like baby hairs. I'm gonna give you some today. I'm gonna give you some baby hairs today. So let me go back in one more time with this blush. Just one dab though. Well, maybe 2 dabs. Just to pop it out just a little bit, not too much. And because everything is so brown, it just looks so much more natural versus how I started. And that's just 2 pops. In there. Just going in circular motion, patting this blush into the skin. Love it. Looks great. I'm done with the blush. It's gonna, I guess I should have done this first, but whatever. Curl this lash situation real quickly. Gonna brush up my brows so I can pencil them in. And I always have to look for my brush. My eyebrow pencil, guys. I could use this one, the e.l.f. one, because it works. And I've used it before. Sometimes I like to really get in there with the skinny. Okay, I found it. With the skinny brow liner. This one's Mary Kay, but Anastasia Brows is really good. And if you like the wider tip, they have the wider tip pencils as well. They have the nice kind of like a triangular shape to it. The thing about with the brow pencil is you have to make sure that you're using the right color. You can go darker for like, especially for a formal occasion, and you want, you know, to have more contrast, something more dramatic like a banquet or a wedding, I would go darker, but today I'm trying to look more natural, so I'm using the brunette, not the dark brunette. If I was trying to be more dramatic, I would use a dark brunette pencil, but today I'm using just the brunette because I'm going for more of a natural look. This is really tricky trying to do this for you guys on in front of the phone. Just gonna have to bear with me a little bit because it's easier for me to see it on this mirror in front of me than it is for me to see it on the phone. Now I see all those YouTubers do their eyebrows off camera because it's way easier to control. Okay, so you can see that I'm filling it in, but I'm gonna go back and help it out some more with the clear mascara. You can use clear mascara, but I'm using my lash primer to double as a clear mascara since it's clear anyway. Okay, so this brow looks just about the way I want it to look. I'm just gonna brush it up some more so it looks more natural. You can really see the shape on it. Okay, now I'm gonna do this other brow. And I like to always start by kind of outlining the perimeter of them underneath. So I'll take the brow bone underneath and draw a line and basically fill them in from there. See, you can see the line I'm drawing, and I'm just going to keep going in and filling them in. I do fill in the top part, but I don't like to draw above them because that's just not the look I'm going for. You can draw above them. I see a lot of people do it. It's just not something that I do. Just had to clean that up because I didn't like the angle I drew for the tail. The tail of this. Okay, that looks better. And you can see that this is just brunette, and you can see why I wouldn't want to go darker for every day, because it would look too harsh with this natural makeup. I'm just using the bristles on the spoolie just to soften up the brow. You could also soften up the brow with a brow tint, which is basically just mascara for your eyebrows, and it typically comes in brown, blonde, or dark brown shade, just so your eyebrows look a little softer than your lashes, which is nice to soften up your face because you really don't want to look too harsh or angry. Now I'm just looking for my lash primer to see where's my lash primer. Okay, I found my lash primer. It's Mary Kay lash primer, like I said. For this part with the brows, you really could use any clear mascara. I typically would have had a clear e.l.f. mascara, but I ran out of that. But the lash primer works great for your lashes as well as your brows, so it's like might as well use it. Just brushing up the hairs so they look nice and natural. And I'm gonna go, now that my makeup is kind of like dried down and stuff, I'm gonna go back over with the blending brush and try to soften up the edges right here by my eyes a little bit more. Just soften them up a little bit. Okay, that looks pretty good. Now I'm gonna put the lash primer on my lashes. Actually, I'm gonna do this after I use the highlight. So the highlight, like I said before, it's gonna be Thrive Cosmetics Brilliant Eye Brightener, and the color is like a champagne color. It's called Stella. So that's what I'm gonna do. Just pop it in right here, and I love this type of thing because I feel like it's so much easier to control than the makeup, like the eye brushes, using an eye brush. I give it about 10 strokes, pretty easy. On both eyes, so now I got a little pop on the bottom. I'm going to do it for the top part, but when I do it for the top part, I'm going to kind of just drag it out just a little bit and then smudge it and blend it some more. So now if you see, I got a little highlight that's happening just right here, like a little burst of brightness in the corner of my eye. But I'm not going to leave it so harsh like this. I'm going to use my blending brush to blend it out. Just going to get a little bit brighter, just to put it down, and then I'm going to come back and have it blended out. So now you can see it in the same area on both eyelids, and all I'm doing is literally drawing just a short distance just a short distance, so it looks like it's like a burst of sun on just a little small part of my eye. Okay, now that I have it down, I'm going to blend it out. And after this, after blending, it's going to be the lash primer and then the mascara. And we're going to get that lash primer in there really, really good. See, now it looks softer, but you can see that I have the highlight on. The same thing for this other eye. Just smooth it out. Okay, so the highlight is there, but it's not overstated. Now it's time to get the lash primer down. And I know this video is forever, guys, but thank you for sticking with me. And I do prime the bottom lashes too, because I do like to put mascara on top and bottom. I just like to make the mascara on the top more dramatic. And while this is setting, if you will, I'm going to do my edges. I'm going back in a couple times and making sure it's really coating these top lashes. So I really want the top lashes to pop. Okay. Let me just take my hands now and try to get some of this makeup out of my edges while that's drying. Now for all my people that like edges, I do have a little wooden toothbrush here. But before I put the gel on, just a little swoosh right here, I'm gonna put some I'm gonna put some vitamin E on my hairline, just a little bit first, because I don't like to just put the gel down straight, not when it comes to my edges, because they're so thin and they're so fragile, you know. So I'm just using a little vitamin E to help them out first. I call my edges my babies because, you know, like I said, they're the most fragile part of my hair for sure. I have that outline laid. I'm gonna put a little gel on. Oh, before I do that too, I forgot. Liquid lipstick, Too Faced Melted Matte. This one is called City Girl. Just gonna take one more little small swipe here just to fill it in at the top. You can see that it looks like a pretty accurate color because I have the lip primer on. One thing else I can do to jazz it up is hit it with my favorite lip liner, which is the Rimmel lip liner. Rimmel London 1000 Kisses. The color is number 50, Tiramisu. Now I've been using this liner for, man, maybe almost probably almost a decade. Just because this is the color that I find is closest to my natural lip color. Okay, just gonna let that sit. I'm gonna put some gel on my edges because I already got the vitamin E stuff on here. Liquid vitamin E. I'm trying to put too much, but the gel I'm using is Eco Styler, the green one, the olive oil one. Just to see, because gel is the only thing I know that can actually make your baby hair stay. The vitamin E by itself won't make my baby hair stay, so it's the only reason why I'm using the gel. Okay. No, it's pretty good. Let's put a little bit more. Now, I don't know if this will actually last because I've never actually done edges and then went to go work out before because I sweat a lot. So, but it's a thought that counts. It's the thought that counts, guys. Okay. Those edges are in place. Lipstick is done. Now it's time to finish with our mascara. And I'm just looking for the mascara, which is also going to be Thrive Cosmetics. There it goes. And the reason why I like to use this mascara is because it doesn't flake off. It's got really good coverage and it doesn't go away unless I use my oil makeup remover. That's the only thing that will get it to come off. You see how long the lashes look already just because I already primed them? So yeah, it already looks like I got a bunch of lashes. So I primed them with my clear mascara. Now it's time to do the top. Which if you can, this is not the easiest thing to do. If you can though, you want to get the bristles in here really good where you're rotating them and then letting go. So you can basically get your lashes to curl from behind. And then you're going to come back and apply mascara from the front. And that for me has been the most effective way of getting the longest lash results is with the curl. So look at this top lash compared to this one. I haven't put anything on this one yet, but you can already see how it's popping. I'm going to come back over it again with a second time. And I want to do it now while it's still wet before it dries because I don't want it to really look spidery. I don't want it to look like spider legs. I just want to control the mascara as much as possible before I move on. Now I'm rolling it towards the front. Okay, now it's time to go to the last lash here and then we're done. Remember, we're going to try to roll it from behind first. It's not so easy to do, but if you can get a good grip on your lashes, it's basically like you're rolling it backwards. Get as close to the lash line as possible. Then you're going to bring it forwards. Sometimes it gets a little tricky because it'll be too much mascara in the one spot, but it's okay. I like to go through again and get it to pop out as much as I can. Got a little clumping in this area because of the way I rolled it, but it's okay. If you have a clear spoolie, you can come back through and separate it when it's dry. The point is to get your lashes to look as long as possible right now while they're still wet, while they're still setting. Matter of fact, I'm going to see if I can use my eyebrow spoolie just to rake up this one area just a little bit, just to help it out there. Okay, that's it, guys. We got full coverage mascara on, and the mascara looks amazing because we did the lash primer. My nose can't stop running. Just, if you want to, one more time again with this, but this time I'd cover my eyes. And I'm covering my eyes because I don't want that mascara to run. But yeah, we're all done. This is the final finished look. And this is how you can do makeup and then go work out to the gym. So I'm actually in my gym clothes already. I already got my hoodie on, already got my leggings on, already have my sneakers on, and I'm gonna go work out, head out of here now and work out shortly. So thank you for staying tuned to this really long tutorial. Thanks for hanging in there. Now you see how I do it. Thank you to the Bosses Shop, THBOSSHOP.com, for letting me record this video here live in this salon in Austell, Georgia. And again, their IG is at THBOSSHOP. And my IG is at Keisha Hutch. So look out for me. Thanks for tuning into this video, guys. There'll be more tutorials coming, and they're going to be online classes will be offered very soon. Thanks again. Bye.